Hi everyone, and welcome back to the second part of the Catch the Clown game. Sorry the first one came to such an abrupt end, but it's at that stage that I realised that my free software I downloaded, Screencast-O-Matic, will only record 15 minutes worth of video. But that's okay, you don't need to watch me for any longer than that. So, looking back at what we created in the last game, in the first part of the clown game, I'm just going to go into the clown game here. So as you can see, the last documents you have been working on are all listed there, so it makes it easy to access them. And I'm just going to exit out of those two windows because at this stage I don't need them. So if we go in, we can double check everything that's in there. Sorry, that shouldn't be there at this stage. And if we run the game, just to test it, okay, it's looking good so far. We can see the walls there. We've got my clown. The walls seem to be solid. So the clown's not going to go through them. And each time I click the clown, it changes direction. And I think he's gradually speeding up as well. So at this stage, it's looking pretty boring in the background there, just with the quite plain colour grey. So I think we need to do something to spice that up a bit. And also, remember that we were supposed to get 10 points every time we click the clown? Well, where's our score? Okay, so time to learn how to create those couple of things. First, what we're going to do is create a new background. So one place to do that is to go to Resources, Create Background. We're going to call it BCK_main and go to Load Background. I'm lucky, mine's already automatically in the Assets folder, but if yours isn't, then you need to go to Tutorial 1, Assets, and you'll find your background there. So I'm just going to click OK. Once we've got our background there, we need to apply it to the room. So I'm just going to double click the room. I'll enlarge that screen and get rid of that one again. So in here, you'll see the Backgrounds tab. If you click on that, I'm going to get rid of Draw Background Colour. And I'm going to the little blue menu icon and select Background Main. Automatically, it's applied to the room. It's looking pretty good. As you'll see though, these two, tile horizontally and tile vertically, are ticked. Just experiment with what happens when you deselect them. Okay, so our background is only quite small, but it's tiled. So if you're applying a background, you might want to think along the lines of something that would look good tiled. Okay, I'm going to save those and give my game another test. Automatically it's looking better. Okay guys, so what we're going to do now, just exit out of the room, is we're actually going to add some final polishing touches to the clown. So even though the clown speeds up with every click, it's still really easy to click on it, because the direction that it's moving in is always in a straight line. So if you just hover your mouse, you'll be able to click on it eventually. To make it more difficult, we need to let the clown change its direction and motion from time to time. So we're going to use something called an alarm. I've just put some notes together here for you to have a look at. So, things to remember when we're setting the alarm. The game has steps. Steps equal room speed. Now 30 steps is about 1 second. So we want our alarm that we're going to set for our clown game to run every 2 seconds. Therefore it needs to have 60 steps. Okay? So if you just remember, that is the default. 30 steps is 1 second. Okay? For this one, we want it every 2 seconds, so it's going to be every 60 steps. So we need to reopen the clown object, so we'll just double click on that, and I'll make that window larger. We need to create event, select the create event, sorry, and from the main to tab, select create alarm, which is that one. Once we've got it in there, we want the number of steps to be 60. Then you can click on OK. Now we need to go to add event and choose the alarm button here. We're going to go with alarm 0. Now in the event, we need to include the moved fixed action from the move tab. So we'll just drag that over. Select all 8 arrows. And set the speed to 0, but click on relative this time. To set the alarm clock again, go to main 2, drag in the alarm, type in 60 and click OK. This time we want to test the game again and see if it's a little bit more challenging than last time we played it. Aha! So every 2 seconds it'll change direction. There it goes. And again. Okay, so it makes it a little bit more challenging. Now what we can also do is make the clown face in the direction that it's actually moving in. As you can see from the game that we've created, the sprite is currently facing to the right. That represents 0 degrees. So what we want to do is add in an action to change the angle the sprite is drawn at every time it changes direction. So basically, make it face in the direction that it's travelling. So back in the clown object, you need to go to the main 1 tab and select the transform the sprite. In this action you can scale it, rotate it and also mirror it. But for now we just need to use angle. In the space provided we need to type the word direction and then it will automatically face in the right direction. What we need to do now is to place copies of that new action in each of the events for the clown. So back there, transform the sprite, and into this one. And then that one. Now let's give it a go. Save those and see how that's affected our game. Whoa, he's looking great. Fantastic. He's moving in the right direction and it makes him look so much more realistic. Right, last thing we need to do, guys, is to add a game controller. Many games have special objects with no sprites assigned to them and they're used to control elements of the game that aren't directly related to the gameplay. In this case, our controller will show the score. Okay, we need to go to Resources, Create Object. We're going to call it obj_control. So for the score, we need to add a draw event. And in the draw event, we need to go to score and drag the draw score, sorry, not that one, that's set score. Draw score event. The position for this on the screen is going to be 64 and 64, and you'll see where that is later. We're going to leave the caption as score and click OK. We will save that, and then the last thing we need to do is assign it to the room. So we'll double click back in our room. This time we need to go to Objects and find the object control, which is that one there. And if we just click up on the left there, it doesn't really matter where you click because we've typed in 64 and 64 before, which means it'll go in the top left. So for example, I'll just leave it there and show you what it does. So we'll tick that and go back and have another play. There it is. Score, and each time we click the clown, it goes up 10. Brilliant. It's a little bit hard to see in that colour, so I'll just show you how to change the colour of the object. So double click to go back into it. And over in the extra, sorry, not the extra, in the draw tab, you'll see this colour palette. So we'll just drag that over and go to the blue tab, and in here you can select the colour that you want. So I'm going to go with purple, see how that goes. Okay, and try it out. Brilliant. Yay, you have now created your first game. Congratulations everybody.